and welcome back to Scrap with Penny, where paper meets story. I am coming at you today with another behind the scenes page planning video for the second Disney layout that I'm going to do this year. So you may recall that I'm focusing on vintage childhood photos, British Isles travel, Disney, and then any 2024 photos that we identify as part of month in review that need their own layout. So I'm showing you that I've got 4 things open. I've got my photos, I've got my Allison Davis Simple Stories Life Documented sketch folder open, I've got my digital elements open, and I've got my Trello open. Let's start with Trello. So I had said that for January to March, I would focus on Magic Kingdom. When we looked at this in January, I only had 3 items identified, and we went ahead and did Big Thunder Mountain Railroad first because it's my favorite, and that is me documenting basically the coaster, the attraction itself. So I marked that off because we've got that done, and then I've got the Rivers of America closing and the Boys on Tom Sawyer Island. These were the 3 items where we started. So since I finished that layout, I've been busy organizing my digital supplies, my photos, and working on my Trello. So I've added Splash Mountain, Country Bear Jamboree Old, Country Bear Jamboree New, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and then Frontierland in general. And honestly, I can add the Frontierland train station. And I think that will round out all of the attractions. I do have some character photos, and so toward that end, I came up here and I added that in photos I've identified FRL as a keyword for Frontierland, and I want to focus on characters, attractions, dining, special events, shopping, snacks, and then top 10 memories in, for instance, Frontierland. So these special events, shopping, those are unique to the entire park, not Frontierland. I am going to stick with this nomenclature up here. So Fantasyland, is going to be FAL. So Adventureland will be ADV. I'm not going to go all crazy on that right now, but I'm just going to show you that I'm identifying a way to parse out and categorize my photos. So I can save that. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and document is the Tom Sawyer Island, okay? And not the closing necessarily, but because like I said in a video last month, I'm not going to be the historian for Disney any more than I'm going to be the historian for my family of 50 people, or, you know, cultural or pop culture events. So I'm not going to worry about documenting the closing down of the ride. If my kids care about it, they can go out and look on the internet about that. I'll tell you quite honestly, I don't have a lot of sentimental attachment to this. I think we only went on it twice. I think we went on it in 2005. I have 1 photo. That was back when I was shooting digital, and you know, you had so many clicks on a camera before you killed it. And so even though it was digital, I still was a little Spartan with my use of it. So, okay. So I can go ahead and minimize. Well, I'll leave it open. I'm going to come here. So these are my photos, and I have really been working on my photo organization. So if you recall, last month I didn't have a Magic Kingdom or an Epcot or Hollywood Studios folder, but I have since created folders for these 3 parks. I just haven't done Animal Kingdom yet because it'll be a while before I get to that. And I wanted you to see that this is really a nice thumbnail in photos. So if I click on this folder, I see all of the little subfolders that I have within this big folder. And so I've got Frontierland in general, and these are photos that are from any part of Frontierland. And then we worked on Big Thunder Mountain. I've identified Country Bear Jamboree, I've got Splash Mountain, I've got Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I've got just a handful, only 32 photos for Tom Sawyer's Island. Look where I have 1,070 in Frontierland. And then these are folders that I had already set up before I started this work last month. So here's Magic Kingdom. I'm up to 15,785. Oh, I do want to congratulate myself. I developed a new habit, or I'm in the process of developing a new habit. When I'm at Walt Disney World and on the flight home from Walt Disney World, I am already making the habit to go out, identify my photos, do my keywords of, WDW, and then the park, which would be MK, EP, HS, or AK, so that you have to change what you're doing to change what you're doing. So if I can, oh look, there's Mr. Toad. If I can get in the habit of doing it on the way home, then it's tied to going and it's going to be there when I'm ready. It's been a little painful to kind of slog through Frontierland and get these photos identified. And so if I can just be a little more proactive, it'll help me in the long run. So again, I just want to say real quick on my photos that if you used your keywords, let me go in here and show you a keyword. So in the info, and you cannot do keywords on a phone. That's why I work with my photos predominantly on my desktop. I also have a MacBook. I use that on the airplane coming home to do my keyword tagging. So I decided CBJ was Country Bear Jamboree. I've got Frontierland, FRL, and then I've got it identified as Walt Disney World and then as Magic Kingdom. And so that way I can see at a glance, using my smart albums down here, the gears denote it's a smart album. When it's got a little icon, a picture, that's one that I created manually. And I just think there can be so much done to help you organize your photos if you'll let technology assist you a little bit. So just wanted to show you that, and hopefully this is helping you decide on how to organize your photos some. Okay, so let's go to Tom Sawyer's Island. And here we go. Here are my 32 photos. And I already have some identified as favorites. Okay. So like I said, this is not particularly a significant memory for us. It's not, I don't even know if we ever saw all of it because there were some animatronics about horses and horseshoes, and I don't think we ever saw that. For the most part, the first time we went on it in 2005, Aunt Polly's Refreshments was still open, and then after that it was closed. So I thought this is a really cute photo for like a then, and then here we are in 2011, and then I love this picture of the three of them. So probably what I did was kind of identify some of the key elements. So here's the little grist mill. This is Tom Sawyer's Landing. This is Huck's Landing with, what is that windmill called? Potter's, I don't know. And then here's the fort. And then this is just cute little atmosphere, and it's part of one of the landings. So if I go back to all of them, when I get ready to do my sketch, so here I am back at all of them. This is I might favorite this because it shows you where it was on the park map, and the bridge is kind of nice, and they're on the bridge, so I can favorite a few more. This is a different version of the map, but I like the older version actually. So this is kind of where we're starting. Like I said, it's not going to be as thrilling of a story for me to tell. So I've got 10 photos. That's probably a pretty good representation. And again, like I said, I'm not worried about documenting the whole shebang because, you know, all of the bloggers have done that for me. Okay, so let's come over here. This is the sketch that I've chosen for the left side. I will do with the right side what I want. Now, I've shared before, Allison Davis did these for Simple Stories on the Simple Stories blog, which was, man, I can't remember what platform it was. but that platform is defunct. But anyway, and Allison was doing this to market the pocket page aspect that Simple Stories really started out strongly with. I do not use pocket pages. I do not like them. I do not like that your photos move around in them. It's just, you know, I'm very quirky, I'm very particular, and so I would just have a wallpaper page and a feature page, just like for Big Thunder. So I like this one a lot. I had, here's the sketch itself. But again, I'm looking for one that uses a good amount of paper. I like my paper. And I didn't see anything else. This isn't really the attraction to be photo forward on. So you know, this is the one I used for Big Thunder, and I just loved it. And so toward that end, I didn't want to come back with another feature page that was this, you know, block paper stack. So I was looking for something a little bit different. I considered, where is it? I considered this one. I thought this would be really cute to get the banners, but I actually used this for my December stash bus layout called Coming Home, and I just, you know, altered the background a little bit. So I'm always looking to give you a different look and give me a different look. And so I think that this one is going to be it. And this is going to be number 17. I'll open the double back up. Okay, so the direction we take on the right side will be led by the photos. And then the last thing we have are the digital elements. So I'll just kind of back up a little bit. So this is my Magic Kingdom folder, and here is all of Walt Disney World. And so you can see that I've got a folder for each park. As I collect things, I put it where it goes. So here's Magic Kingdom, and then I've got, you know, different elements, and we're in Frontierland. So, but I'm gonna say this. So I think one of these titles has Tom Sawyer Island in it, right here. It's pretty cute. It seems like there's another one, and I can go look at Kellybell and see. I don't see it right in here anywhere. This is a Big Thunder title that I didn't use, but I like the title that I did use. Okay, so I can skip that. Well, you know what? I'm going to open it so that I remember it. So I went out and looked, and here's the Kellybell. This is the other title that she has made, and I think I'm going to stay with the one I have. So we could go ahead and start a design. They come in so big, but I mean, it's immediate fun. I like the little hidden Mickey. Okay, so I'm glad to know I'm going to use a title I already own. Okay, and so we have our sketch. I'm going to grab a screenshot of this, and I can open it up. And let me get the sketch. It's easier for me to just grab a screenshot real quick rather than go look for the document on my hard drive, if I'm honest. Okay, so I've opened up these two things. So now when I say show me everything, I'll see my sketch, I'll see the example. And so we're looking for 2, 4, 6, 7 pieces of paper. And we've got our pictures here. I can go ahead and minimize that. And my pictures have obviously a lot of green and brown in them, but I'm going to tell you that I love this blue. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm not so crazy about this plaid right here. Oh, let me get this a little bigger. Okay, so this is just a Frontierland kit. This is like a cargo net. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this green because I need some green, a little bit of green, not a lot. And let's see what else we have. What did I say I need? 2, 4, 6, 7 papers. Here's this older kit. This is that wood grain I used on Big Thunder, I think. But I think you definitely want some brown. A little bit of brown. What is this? I don't care for that. Let's open up this one. I don't like this up against this, so let's look at this. I don't like that any better. We can open up this wood grain. I think this is not the one I used. I think this is the one I used. Okay, so we're looking for papers. I don't like it when the papers have a wrinkle. These are all the solids. I'm not going to do the cows. Okay. So I have Frontierland kits from Magical Scraps Galore, Studio Flurg, and Kellybell. I like that. What is this? That's not bad either. Okay, what do we have? I think I need a red, and I can open this red gingham from the Hoop-Dee-Doo review they just released. Oh, I kind of like that. So since I know that I'm working with Frontierland, when this dropped, I was like, I'm going to get it because I think it'll be helpful. And let's look at Country Bear. I'm telling you, this little Country Bear kit is little. So I have several papers opened and we need to start narrowing them down. So if I had to pick one wood grain, I like this warmer wood grain. So we can come here and close this. I like this, but I've got a lot of plaid and ginghams going on, so I'm going to stay with this. So I'm going to close this. I only need one blue, so I'm going to keep the blue bandana, and I'm going to close that one. And I think I'm going to go ahead and close, I don't know, I like that for a little bit of, let's look at it. I don't know if it makes any sense for Tom Sawyer's Island. I think it would for Frontierland. Looking at this green, I don't like it in context as much, so I need to go back and pick up that other green. Let me look at Splash. I don't see anything here, and that's going to be, oh, let me look at the Big Thunder papers. This was a nice yellow. I liked that yellow a lot. And then let me open up this red just because I don't have a ton of red, and I'm still, oh, that's the wood grain I used. I'm still looking for a green. So let me come back here and open up this other green. I just don't like it. Okay, so Sophie rang the bell to go outside and I took a little break and I went looking for green. So I've got several papers open on my desktop and I can see that I've already got some better choices. So I'm going to close this one out. So this one right here is from Magical Scraps Galore. It's Magic in Bloom, and it's got kind of a vine look to it. It's the first one that I found, so I opened it up, but I'm not going to use it. So this one I'm not going to use. That was part of the Kellybell, and I'm leaning toward this one. I'm just going to tell you. I like it because it looks like it's got some blue in it. This one, it's a really nice paper. It's from Studio Flurg's Flower and Garden. So I was kind of trying to think about where would green be, and I thought, okay, it's going to be in Christmas and it's going to be in Flower and Garden. And I don't have any Animal Kingdom kits. There's probably some green out there in that. And you can bet that I'm making a wish list for the next sale. So this is from Flower and Garden, Studio Flurg's. Okay, so I've got a green, I've got a blue. I'm going to use this wood grain. I'm going to keep this brown. So I need to decide between I'm going to close this one out because I don't want two polka dots. So I need to decide between my yellow and my red. So I'm either going to use this one and this one, or this one and this one. And here's my pictures. I think I could be okay with this bandana and this bandana. And so I'm leaning toward closing this one up and closing this one up. So that gives me 2, 4, 6 papers. I might need one more. Too much brown. You know what was really pretty was that blue jean paper. Yep. He wore overalls, right? Okay, so that's a really good array of papers, and it gives me a lot of direction to go on embellishments. And you can see that my papers are going to need to be small. So the first thing I'd want to do is decide which would be my background. The wood grain is just such an obvious choice. Yeah, I think so. The only thing I hate is that this little piece of paper right here gets covered up. But let's see. On my pictures, I'll probably use this one and this one as my feature photos on my left side, because it's kind of a then and now. And so my photo configuration would look a little different. I can make it work. I can make it work. Okay, so this is the direction we're heading on Tom Sawyer's Island, Frontierland. And for my right page, I can't really crop these down a whole lot. Going back to my left page, obviously. If I do a 3x5, that's pretty good. I don't need this, so that works. And then here, I can probably also do a 3x5. Brighten that up a little bit. It's funny to me that my phone takes better pictures now than a $1,000 camera took. But that is the evolution of technology. So I would go ahead and crop this tight. They were so cute on this trip. We had so much fun. Okay, so I've got 2 3x5s. What does the sketch call for? Oh, 3x5 is perfect. So I'll have one go this way, and then I'll have one come this way. And then I can probably do the title element. Well, maybe right here. Well, haha, that's where it says to go. So we've got our title element. Let's see how that looks with, oh yeah. So the next thing I'll do is figure out the size to print these papers, and I'll look at my elements and see what I want to pull in there. The deal with, I need to decide my photos also. The deal with Tom Sawyer's Island is that there's not a kit for it. I have to just work off Frontierland. And this shows, we can have some paper here. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the recording and get my photos figured out, and then I'll know what I need to do on my embellishments. And then I'll come back and show you the final silhouette mat before I close this planning out. Okay, so I'm back, and I know we had already decided our papers, and I'm still loving them. I will tell you that these are the photos that I decided to print. It's just 8 photos. Like I said, in the grand scheme of things, we were not on this island a lot, and what's especially dear to me is just the passage of time with my kids and knowing that they experienced it together over the span of 5 or 6 years. I don't have any idea if they went on Tom Sawyer's Island on their honeymoon or not. And on this one, I went out to I do screenshots sometimes in the app, and I went out and I was able to find one that had the edges of Frontierland on it. And so I did a markup to say Tom Sawyer Island because on my screenshot I wasn't zoomed in enough for the map to say that. And I kept the crop big enough to where you can see the bridge over to the fort. And let's see. I mean, I think this is a good representation of the island, and most of the time we're going to see it from the shore or from the Liberty Bell. And so I did put in a Photoshop request on Facebook to sharpen up this picture. It's blurry. That's what makes me so sad about some of the older photos. And then I also asked if they could help me lighten up this one. Okay, and so here's my sketch. I am going to end up having 3 4x6 photos over here. So currently I'm going to have a 4x6 photo here, one here, and then I'm going to have one here with a 3x4 and a 3x4. So the map and the bridge I'm printing at 3x4. Let's see. Okay, and then what else? Let's look at what I did on the silhouette. I have not sized these down, but I pulled in what I want, and I'm thinking that I'll build a little scene on the left, and then I'll have 2 3x4 areas on the right that I can embellish. And so this little page starter I think is so cute, and if I can size it down I will. I don't plan on putting a photo behind it, so it would just be, I don't know how I'll use it. I just grabbed it. It's easier to grab it and not use it than wish you had something else later. And let's see, can go a little bit bigger. So I pulled in some snippets. This is actually from Splash, and this is from Splash, but I thought the colors work, and if I can incorporate them into the layout, then I will. And so then what I'm doing on some of these elements is pulling in items that I can layer, which I thought I had pulled this one, but I don't see it. Oh, here it is down here. Okay. So I'll kind of get a better idea on what exactly I want to do, and then I'll size them up and print it. And you know, I can't plan everything ahead of time. You got to have a reason to want to watch the process video, right? So real quick, since I had all this on my screen, that I would add this to the end of the planning video. And you can see what I did was I grabbed little snips of the papers. You know, here are all my papers down here that I'm using, and I just sized them to where they're approximately 3x4. And then I grabbed some elements from the different kits, and this is kind of how I see the page coming together. Now it, you know, like it may be a little nuanced, you know, when I tape it down, and this may not make the cut and this may not, but this is what I'm going to print, and I have it sized at the size that I want. I may reduce these just a little bit. How I would do that is you can grab all 3 of them at one time, and you can, if your mouse cooperates, then you can reduce them in a commensurate or in a manner that reduces them all proportionately. And so now what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll go to a new mat, and I just copy it at the same size. And if you're not familiar with print and cut, you know, this is how you would set it up. You enable your registration marks, and it brings this in. You can go to your mat. I've already got it sized to 8.5 by 11. But if I want to see my print and cut borders, I can check those boxes, and then I know exactly, you know, where to place this. You can zoom in so that you can see it better. Sometimes there's a lot of lines going. And so I did some investigating. I did some looking. And these elements are made with the Checking into Wilderness Lodge elements. So I am going to be able to reprint or to print a layering background for the island, the trees, the teepee. I do not have this Tom Sawyer. And I mean, I could, with effort, erase all of this and use a knife and get just that to duplicate it. I don't think it really matters. I think that I will get the look I'm after if I layer from the back to the front this time, and I'm excited about that. So that's just a little bit of how it works on the back side of hybrid, in case you're not familiar with it. So I'll just very slowly and manually bring all of this over and not changing the size, and then just making sure it fits. And then when you go to cut it, sometimes there's an offset border already applied and sometimes there's not. And so if I wanted there to be an offset border, then I would come over here, select everything, go to offset, go here, pick my size. I always go for square corners and hit apply. I'm not going to do that because if I do an offset, I want to do it all at one time. But that would be how you would do it. And then you would get the little white border around it, which is usually how a traditional paper collection works. You usually get a little white border on your die cuts and your stickers. And we just, our eyes kind of like that. So that's the wrap up of the planning. I'll do this tedious copy paste. If I could remember which tab, I can close that out. And then we'll get to bring this to life on the process video. And this is what I say is so gratifying, is that you literally construct something from the ground up, and then you know, like I dragged these to the size that I want them, and it's just, I love it. So it's a lot of fun to me to be able to do this. And like I said, being introduced to the hybrid elements has reinvigorated my desire to scrap Disney. This is so much more fun to me than working with a prefab collection out there that focuses on red and blue and yellow. I'm telling you, and I've been saying it for years, Disney is more colors than that. And so this is the gratifying part of it. Okay, so I will stop rambling and I will get to going, and we'll be working on another Disney page pretty soon. I'm excited about the direction of this. I'm okay with it not being a 10 out of 10 attraction to us. And I'm committed to getting the stories told, you know, big and small. I hope that you had some fun playing with something on your desk or on your computer while I was doing this. A big thank you to all of my subscribers. I do appreciate you so very much. And if you haven't joined our community yet, go ahead and hit that button. I am going to wrap this up, move on to the next step, and as always, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back soon with more layouts, videos, and a little stash busted magic. So please come back and crop with me. Until next time, happy scrapping, and remember, this is where paper meets story. Bye-bye.